Greetings fellow warriors, and welcome back to yet another Mount & 2 Bannerlord video. Finally, after a whole 3 months, Tailwoods has blessed us yet once again with a new content patch for Mount & 2 Bannerlord. And I'm here as always to tell you everything about the most important stuff that came with this patch to keep the video short and digestible. So for example, new quests, new systems, new Battalion armor, new sheep textures and any new addition in general will be covered here. So if you want to see all the minor stuff or generally things that I don't deem as important, feel free to check out the patch notes yourself by clicking the link in the description. Also, I'm doing another giveaway. I'm giving away another key for Mount & 2 Bannerlord. All you have to do is like this video, leave a comment about anything Bannerlord related, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Good luck for everyone that is going to participate. If you don't win, you shouldn't worry, because there are many more giveaways to come, so there's no reason to not be subscribed. But other than that, let's dive in to the patch notes. One more thing for any newcomers out there. If you haven't subscribed to the channel for some reason, feel free to do so. It would really brighten up my day. It's free and you can never change your mind later, since only a small percentage of your beautiful warriors actually subscribed. And you can also win a brand new key for Bannerlord if you don't own it by now. And even if you own it, it makes a great gift for anyone that is interested in the game. We'll start off with a huge amount of crash and performance fixes, which I won't really go over, so as always, I recommend checking the patch notes out yourself if you're interested in what kind of crashes the devs looked at. Maybe something you struggled with has been fixed. Though something I'm interested in is the performance tab. They optimize siege script components, ranged siege weapon usage AI, loading of game menus, the overall memory usage of the game, campaign performance to reduce AI decision spikes, and much more. So, like I always do, I put these changes to the test. First up, if anyone knows what they meant by siege script components exactly, feel free to tell me down below in the comment section. But if I had to vaguely guess, I think it has something to do with how units respond to different things happening in a siege. Like for example, the siege tower reaching the walls, or the ram, the outer gates, and so on, resulting in a much smoother siege experience. But to be fair, I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary with my setup when compared with previous patches. Same with siege weapon usage and the overall memory usage of the game. I did notice though that game menus behave differently in this patch, so there definitely has been some changes including them. Overall, most of these changes depend on how well it ran beforehand, I think. Maybe you had occasional lags during the sieges, or your loading times were over the roof, which have been improved upon with this patch. The only way to try it out is testing it for yourself, since I didn't see any changes or just minor ones on my end, and I don't represent every Mount & Blade player out there. Regarding the art direction of the game, Tailwoods added 5 new cape pieces. The decorated leather harness, the caped leather harness, the decorated leather harness with padding, the decorated leather harness over scale, and decorated leather harness over mail, which are looking like this. My favorite one must be the caped leather harness with that sweet purple color and gold gilding on the edges, perfect for a playthrough as an emperor of the empire. 4 new body armor pieces also found their way into the game. The master crafted southern scale mail, the master crafted southern scale over chain hauberk, the master crafted southern scale over chainmail, and the tartan toga. 3 of them made for the Azerai and 1 for Britannia. I think most of these new items are a great addition to the game, especially the mastercrafted stuff and the caped leather harness. They look pretty awesome, but I do hope for some Vlandian stuff too in the near future. Vlandia deserves nice things too. Also, what I did just notice is that some of the menu art changes depending on the type of day. I don't know if it's always been like that or not, but I just noticed it, and to be fair, adding a blue filter on these art pieces doesn't do it for me. It just looks pretty cheap in my opinion, especially the tavern ones. I mean, how are they drinking if they're all stuck in the dark? There's like no light except the moon shining, but I digress. Regarding the UI, they've added a sorting system to quests. Quests can now be sorted by date started, last updated and time due. How neat! They added an equipment set selector for encyclopedia troops. Did you ever notice that the same types of units have different gear loadouts, but the encyclopedia only ever showed only one? Well now, you can just swap between different sets the unit is using by clicking on the arrows on the bottom. The traits you gain are also visible now during character creation. Depending on which kind of background you may choose, different character traits can already be allocated to your character. Just keep an eye out for the upper right corner when choosing your background, as well as a skip all rounds button for tournaments and a recruit all button to the recruit prisoners pop-up in the party screen. Regarding battles and sieges, they've added an option under the gameplay tab that allows you to determine the order in which troops should spawn. The default option makes troops spawn according to their position in the roster. The high level option makes it so high level troops will spawn first, and the low level option makes it so low level troops spawn first. As well as a homogeneous option, making high and low level troops spawn in equal ratios. I think this is a great addition to the game, but I would love to have more control over exactly which troops will be spawning when entering a battle, rather than high level, low level and mixed. What do you think? Regarding clans and parties, there have been big improvements and fixes to the campaign map AI. They've increased the weight of party priorities. Parties that have the defensive priority will try to defend settlements from raids or sieges and protect their territories. They will not join besieger or raider armies. Parties that have the aggressive priority will try to raid and siege settlements that are near their territory. This was achieved by tweaking the distance score weight of the target settlement when deciding to siege or raid. Parties that are trying to defend their settlements against besiegers will have a short-term escort behavior to a nearby stronger ally party that has the same defensive behavior. This will make them engage the besiegers together instead of being stuck between two objectives. They've added a threshold for changing the AI party objective. Parties will change their objective less often if their current one is logical. Whoa, so there's a lot to unpack here. In the short span I tested the patch, I didn't notice a lot of what has been advertised here, but these optimizations sound like a real game changer. What do you think? They've implemented a new companion spawn behavior that will try to equalize the available companions in the game. This fixed the bug that caused companions to be hard to find during late game as well. Alright, now this is something that annoyed me a lot when recruiting companions. In my last playthrough, I had a lot of companions with the suffix wanderer in my game, and by the sound of it, this system makes it so there will be less duplicate companions in your game. How neat! Regarding armies, they improved the AI food management. Armies will now take villages into account when thinking of buying food if they are starving, and parties will now on average starve less in general. Regarding the economy, elite caravans are now created from culture-based troop templates. The elite troop template that is used when creating an elite caravan corresponds to the player's starting culture. Depending on the notable power, the AI can also create elite caravans, which likewise use elite party templates that correspond to their culture. So that means that we're now able to create these elite caravans ourselves. To do that, just go to any notable in any town and select the option to create a caravan. Then pick the option that says, "Is there a way to form a caravan? Includes better troops." And the notable will up the price to 22.5k dinars, and you'll have a brand new caravan with elite troops. I didn't notice any difference to other caravans though. The troop roster is mostly the same, so I don't know if the system works properly or not. Regarding settlement actions, you can now ask tavern keepers about available companion candidates. All you have to do is pick the option that says, "I'm looking for some people to hire, with specific skills. Would you happen to know anyone looking for work in the towns of the specific faction?" Afterwards, you can pick a ton of new dialogue options for companions that suit your taste. Let's say I need a medic for my army. I pick the option that says, "My men would feel safer with a good surgeon to aid them in their time of need." The tavern keep will either say that he saw no one with those talents, or point you to a direction where such a person might be, which is a great feature in my opinion. You even tip him some dinars after he spills out the information, which is also a nice touch. Now you don't have to ride from faction to faction just to find a medic or surgeon. You can just go to the tavern keepers of these factions and ask them if there's someone with those powers in their kingdom. How great! Regarding conversations and encounters, you can now interact with prisoners. Previously they just told you that they are not allowed to talk to you, but now you can try and coax prisoners into defecting. You can also ask NPC lords to talk to the prisoners. Finally, we're allowed to talk to prisoners and even ask them to join your faction. This is something that I was definitely waiting for. And lastly, there's been some equipment and troop changes. I won't go over them properly, and a whole new thread has been created just for these changes alone, so I linked them in the description as well. And yeah, I guess this is it for this patch rundown. I hope you liked it. If you did, please hit that like button. It would help out tremendously and show me that you want to see more content like this in the future. But still, the best way to support the channel is to just hit that subscribe button. It's totally free and you may win a copy of Bannerlord along the way, so now is literally the best time to do so. Join my Discord server where you can talk with me and other like-minded people, and I see you all in my next video. Become a warrior today, stay safe and bye.